Well, yeah, I totally agree with it because I don't know how somebody can agree with that because if you look at it, I mean, look at where we're at with our depth at our offensive line. It hasn't been recruited like it probably should have been, you know. Um, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do next year, really. I mean, like you said, they got um, Taylor that redshirted, they got Amu that redshirted, they got Alifua that redshirted. You know, Brooksby's going to be back. He better take a huge step forward from where he was at this year, in my opinion. Um, but then what's behind them? Who do you got behind them? So they with the long term thing, and then hiring coaches that have been hired. I mean, everybody's caught up with whatever if they think Heupel was going to stay. You know what I mean? As soon as he could get a shot, he was going to go um, to a higher or more prestigious job or whatever you want to call it. And it's like you said on the car ride. It is encouraging. Bringing in Frank. Um, that he ties with Utah State, and I'm not saying every coach has to have ties with Utah State, but um, you got to have guys that want to be there, and then they want to be there for, and I can understand if somebody wants to move on after 4, 5, 6 years, you know what I mean? They don't want to retire up there and spend 20 years coaching. I mean, that's just not the way the business works anyway. Um, but you got to get these guys that are like invested in the program and they they have a direction and everything. And I don't know if that's what we saw a little bit of this year. It's just, you know, Frank and Coach Schaefer's first year, D coordinating, and a lot of people say the whole defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator stuff doesn't work or whatever. It's worked at other places before, so whatever, however you want to look at that. They brought in Canales, he's getting, I don't know how old he is, but I could see him, finishing at Utah State, to be honest with you. He seems to really, really enjoy himself, and he likes it up there. So those are kind of some hires that I can see that, hey, you know what, they've made the decision to like hire some different type of people, and I kind of thought there would be some growing pains with brand new offense and defensive coordinators, and a lot of people are saying, well, we didn't have a brand new offensive coordinator because Wells was calling the plays and everything. Um, and I get it. I get what people mean by that. But in my opinion, Bo Knight's probably one of the best coaches we have on the staff. And I don't know. Obviously, we're not flies, and we're not sitting in their meetings, and we don't know how everything transpires or whatever. But it's kind of like I mentioned to you, with Matt, he's just he micromanages everything, and um, I'm a boss myself in my job, and when I interviewed for that job, I told them if they wanted a micromanager, don't hire me because it's not my job. It's not my job to do other people's job, and I'm not going to be, I need to give them the tools to be able to do their jobs. And I kind of see it the same way as a head coach. You gotta provide the tools for the people to do their job and help them, when they fail or whatever. You know what I mean? But sometimes you gotta take the training wheels off, and if he's got people that he doesn't trust, on the offensive coordinators, whatever, his brother or whoever, or Bo Knight to call the plays, then he's got to get somebody in there that can call the plays. He's got to back away a little bit, in my opinion. He's got to back away and let people do their thing. And I mean, you see Rocky. I've mentioned this to you. I don't know if I mentioned on the other podcast, but at San Diego State game, I was watching Rocky, Long on the sidelines. He's 30 yards away from his coaches when they're on, during timeouts and they're in their huddles, their position huddles and everything. He's letting their coaches do their job, and I agree, I mean, Matt should, if it's a play call and it's a 4th and 1, 4th and 2 or whatever, he needs to make that final call, you know what I mean? Or even make that call, make the play call or whatever, if they're going to go for it. He needs to make those type of decisions, but the every down stuff. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him going back to coaching quarterbacks, to be honest with you. If he feels that he's got to be in a position group or whatever, go back to the quarterbacks. I think he did a really good job, with Chucky. But I just hope he, after this year's over, he really steps back and reflects and just, takes feedback from other people. I'm sure he's getting it from other coaches and, his peers and stuff like that, and really takes it to heart and, tries to make a change, one way or the other. I mean, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But if you keep doing the same thing and it's nothing's changing, I mean, come on, you got to do something.